Hi, it's me again. Big surprise. It's Julie Malloy, business expert for the interior design industry. And I am here with you for day 7 of our Get Organized program. And today I am addressing the role of the interior designer. This is a full-fledged interior designer. So as we've kind of been building the team, for those of you who have a full-fledged team, this is a great doc. I think it's, 3-4 pages long, outlining everything that they need to do. So if you've got this job description, it still might be helpful for you to look this over and revise as needed your own job description and dial that in a little bit. For those of you who are looking to hire this role, either in the near future or sometime ahead, I recommend, again, don't make your company top heavy. You want to have the support structure below you and below this role in the junior designer and your admin expediter before you bring on that seasoned designer. Otherwise your company will be just extremely expensive in terms of payroll. You want the senior level designer to be running the projects for you. Now that sounds scary to a lot of designers because they're like, well, I want to run my projects. It's my project. These are my clients. They're signing it for me. And I want to be in control of the, my vision and all of that stuff. And I say, well, that's great because, people complain. You're like, oh, I'm just such a control freak. And when they tell me that, I'm like, good. That's your job. You are paid to be a control freak. You need to be a control freak. This is the difference, though. With the proper structure, you can be in control of everything without having to do everything. And this is the shift between a technician or an interior designer and a CEO or a principal interior designer. And there's a lot of things that go into being able to have a team support you. And when you have this role, they're not leading the creative. They are they're taking the lead in the implementation of your vision, and you are guiding that very specifically. But you are not calling on every vendor to find out if they're, what their turnaround time is on something, or if they have this in a particular finish, or, maybe you're redlining drawings, but you're not actually doing them. They're doing the heavy lifting in terms of the implementation, and you are taking the lead in terms of the vision and the guidance and the client relationship and cultivation. You're giving yourself a raise, basically, and to a real principal designer role. Most small interior design firms that I see are running their businesses like they're just an interior designer that happens to not have another person above them as a boss. It's different. You need to be thinking in terms of building a company, not just doing projects. Does that make sense? So I want you to think in terms of a pyramid. So for those of you who have not read the E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and you're small, like still boutique, building your firm, I would recommend reading it, okay? It's E-Myth, like entrepreneur, E-Myth, by Michael Gerber. And that book changed my life, and I'll tell that story another time. But it will help you to understand your business in terms of a pyramid. So one of the things he talks about is the structure. And any business, you have the top of the pyramid, which is you. You are the entrepreneur. You're the visionary. You're the rainmaker. You're the person that's bringing everything forth. You're the idea person. And you need 2 roles below you, like a pyramid. You need the manager role, and for the case of an interior design firm, that is the office manager / expediter, because they're the timekeeper, they're the follower-upper, they're the, taking care of the little stuff, keeping it all going. And then you need the technician, okay? It's the other piece, the technician. And the technician is the designer role, junior designer role and designer role, the design team, essentially. And you, generally speaking, are an interior designer. You are the technician, and then you decide to go into business for yourself, and you think that just because you're a good technician, a good designer, that's going to make you a really great principal designer. And in fact, it actually doesn't. you need to be good at building your support structure below you so that you can be in charge of being a master visionary and having those actions that you call forth be done not just through your own hands. You guide with your own hands, but you have those actions done through other people. And when you have a strong structure, checklists and workflow charts and guidelines on how to do things and proper technology supporting you, it's not that hard. It's not that hard anymore. So I want you to think in terms of principal designer up here. You've got your admin expediter as that manager role, and then your design team. Okay, when you get to a certain point, and you'll feel it, when just having a junior designer isn't enough, then it's time to say, okay, I really need to bring on my designer and have a full-fledged design team. Okay, and then you help to see that vision through, and they are in charge of implementing. And this senior designer, this designer role that you're hiring, is really queen bee or king bee of implementation of your vision. Okay, so they have their junior. They should be sitting next to each other. They are one junior to one designer is my preferred structure. There are periods of time where one junior can serve two designers, and that can work, but I have not found it to be long-term sustainable because there's some tasking and priority issues that come up. Generally speaking, too, if you're paying for two like lead designers, that's a lot of payroll dollar. You want to have the benefit of having two full-fledged design teams. Okay, they each have their own junior below them. You have design team 1, design team 2, and then you can take on different kinds of projects because usually both designers, they have different strengths. One's maybe more structurally strong, and the other one's maybe finishes and interiors and soft goods. So there's some great advantages to having two senior level designers when you get to that point, but don't have them doing their own junior designer work, because that's a lot of payroll dollar to be following up and calling on a CFA and getting pricing and stuff. It just does not make sense financially. It's a harder ROI on that. So anyway, that's what I have to say on the interior designer role underneath you. They should be delegating to the junior, and you delegate to the team your vision, and they execute that vision. And there's other things I'll be talking to you about this week or next week during this program, though, in terms of how to help manage the time and tasking associated with having these roles, because you can't just abdicate everything, and you do have to be really mindful about the way in which you provide structure for these roles so they can function at a very high level. Okay? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't hesitate to download this complimentary interior designer description of duties for day 7 of our Get Organized program. Until next time, be bold.